Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Now today I have got game 1 of a best of 3, it is from the Russian StarCraft League and it is between MillFeast, the blue Protoss player, in the lower left position, and in the top position we have STBomber as the orange Terran. So STBomber is actually one of the first pros who I really started to watch, and the kind of first name back in the day that I really started getting into StarCraft 2 and watching it as a professional esport. This was long before I even dreamt of doing some casting, so I always like casting his games because I think he's just a cool player and is someone who introduced me to the scene, so that is always awesome. Now of course MillFeast, he's been doing some good stuff recently, so this should be a pretty close series in my opinion. Bomber is going to have to put out the stops obviously, but so will Feast. Now being a PvT, that offers some really interesting kind of matchup dynamics. This map itself is really interesting because obviously there's this base here with the 3 gas guys, there's one being a rich Vespian guys that can have 4 workers mining from it at a time. You've got the central watchtower, you've got this low attack path, the top attack path, and the center. Your natural base is quite easy to hold due to a narrow choke there, but the third base is really quite awkward. Where do you go for it? You've got this nice little half base down here, you've got some dead area across the top for drops. Again, I quite like this map. It's really quite interesting, and there's lots of cool things you can go about. You can come in from the side, so we'll wait and see if either of those players utilize it. Now, as for strategy, that's probably something we should talk a little bit more about. Basically, the Protoss is going to have a little phase where gateway units are really good. Then Bomber will probably get Stim pack for his Marines, Marauders, and then suddenly gateways are really bad. And then you kind of transition to how do I deal with the infantry ball as Protoss, and well, you get either Colossus for the splash damage or High Templar with Storm. You can also get Archons or Charging Zealots, they're obviously options, but generally it's either High Templar or Colossus. Now the Terran then has to deal with that, and High Templar you deal with by getting an awful lot of ghosts out for the EMPs, and also Archons can be dealt with ghosts by snipe because they are sonic. And then of course if there are Colossi, you get out Vikings, because Vikings can hit the Colossus because it is affected by air attacks and they melt very quickly. And obviously late game Feast, if this game does go to late game, will be aiming to get out a lot of both Colossi and High Templar, so you want to make sure that you get a balanced army on both sides. It's the best way to deal with it. I'm also hoping to see some drop play, but what is this going on here, Bomber? Are you getting a proxy factory? Yes you are. Now this could be really funky because proxy Hellions could do lots and lots of damage because there is a Stalker on the way. So one Stalker can deal quite well with Hellions, 2 Stalkers deal really good with Hellions, but in high numbers it only needs a couple to get in here and start, well, throwing the fire over those probes, and lots of stuff will start dying, and Bomber will suddenly get in a good spot behind this. Of course Bomber does just have that 1 gas, so not committing to tech too much, can still expand should he want to. We'll probably get a reactor down almost instantly. Instead actually going for a starport, so he's going to go, oh my god, it's going to be a Hellion drop, that's even better. Oh my god, Bomber, you beast. That is how you do it. Now Feast here, he's getting down his natural base, so really just that 1 gateway, and he has no idea this is coming, like none at all. He knows he sees a lot of Marines, and that's probably knocking off his radar of something weird, because he's like, oh, there's infantry units. Bomber's just trying to take map control. He's trying to be a bit annoying in terms of the loss count. It's pretty close. That Stalker's got a little bit damaged, but there's Hellions and a starport. There's gonna be Hellions in your base, Feast. You need to start worrying about that. 2 more gateways being added on 3 gates can deal with that effectively, especially once that warp gate tech is done, because then you start being able to warp them in. And oh my god, are the Stalkers gonna see it? They are gonna see it. Was that scouted? I think it must have been by the probe, and well, we've got a Hellion completely trapped here getting taken down, and this is shut down so easily by Feast. And well, even if that medevac were to pop out, it's going to get taken down, and well, that medevac now can't do anything either because it's just like, I'm a medevac. But anyway, we do have some units now finally getting picked up. That second Hellion won't be able to fit in, but we already have some units warping in right now. Some Stalkers coming down. A good force field tries to deny it, but obviously one force field alone won't be enough. We do have another Marine there ready to come in, and well, here comes a tech lab, so we're going to see Banshees most probably here out of Bomber, and that again is a good choice. It's going to make things more awkward. There we go, the Banshee already in production, so not quite shut down yet by Feast, but he needs to think about what he's doing. If he picks off that dropship, he's going to be in an amazing position because, well, that really does shut Bomber down hard. He is dropping out those Hellions, but of course the Stalkers are very good and very well equipped to deal with those Hellions. They get taken down very easily without doing hardly any damage. I mean, a grand total of what, 4 taken out. The medevac dies as well, so that is very unfortunate. And now this Banshee coming in might get a couple of kills, but still, the medevac is going down there, so that is again a big loss. So I thought it went down earlier, but it would appear that either way Feast still kills off that medevac. Now the Banshee, what can that do? There's a lot of Stalkers out, there's no cloak. I really think Bomber's going to struggle to deal much damage there as long as Feast is paying attention. And well, the Robotics Bay coming down, so Colossus are going to be the tech unit of choice. Now the Banshee gets 1 kill, maybe we'll get a second if it is a lucky Banshee, but then has to run away. We do see the Starport is probably going to get taken out. Stalkers coming absolutely every which way, so Bomber has really got a Banshee completely trapped there at the moment. But there is a couple of units moving across the map, coming desperately trying to save this Starport from the Stalkers. The Stalkers are going to come around, but hopefully the infantry for Bomber will come in and be able to defend that. And for that reason, Feast is not going to pursue it any further. Now, obviously the natural base is down for Bomber, but really he's not got much. He's got those 3 barracks, that's all he's really got going for him at the moment. He's getting stim out, but I mean, Colossi are already there, ready to be starting to get produced by Feast, and that is going to put Bomber in an awkward spot because, to be honest, I don't think he's going to be able to deal with those. He doesn't. If his Starport lands very quickly and he very quickly starts ramping up the production of Vikings, then perhaps he can deal with it. But the first Colossus is already on its way out, and from that point it's going to be very difficult for Bomber because obviously the splash damage for Feast is going to be too good. And as you can see here, more gateways being added on, now taking up to 6 gate, and I think if I was in Feast position I'd get 2, perhaps 3 Colossi out and then just start moving across the map. Now obviously Feast is getting everything he needs to know right now from that observer, knows that the 4th gas is just on its way down now. Can see what's being built around, can see that there's the single engineering base, the +1. We do have a probe coming around as well. Is that going to be for a proxy pylon? That would be so good. Bomber trying to take a 3rd base, and I think that is his only option because if we look here, they are on equal workers, so that should mean Bomber's economy is slightly better, but he didn't do the damage. He invested a lot in trying to damage early on and probably feels behind right now because what he feels is the important thing, because that's going to influence his play. He doesn't have too much information about what's going on. He knows that the Robotics Bay was on its way out, but that is pretty much it. Now, as you can see, we've got some units moving across the map, just the 1 Colossus at the moment. A second one will probably be joining soon, and that is when this push really starts becoming dangerous. The 1 Colossus on its own, not too much of a threat in my opinion. It can't instantly vaporize the infantry units. We do have this pylon down here that is going to give some good harassment potential. A warpin already coming down. We do have a single marine trying to take off that probe at the moment, but a good loop around, and that 3rd base from Bomber, it's going to be cancelled. There, I can't see any way that he could save it. If he lets it finish, that would be more of a mistake in my opinion, because then you're losing 400 resources. Now the Colossus does have extended thermal lance. He's going to take that bunker down incredibly quickly. The force fields are absolutely on the money there for Feast, and just look at him decimate this army. He has cut it up into teensy tiny bite-sized chunks for that Colossus, and of course the second one joining soon as well now. And well, the defense can be as good as you like, but it's not looking too good. With just 1 Stalker slowly chipping away, it is all you need. The bunker falls, and with 2 Colossus, the force fields on the money yet again. Feast doing so well here, and I just don't see Bomber coming back from this. Yes, he's got the 3 Vikings up and is picking off the Colossus, but just too much damage is getting done right now. The Stalkers are still up. The infantry has completely been decimated. Now Feast's gateway units are just going to town on the SCVs. He's down. He's losing SCVs by the second, and with this next wave of reinforcements, I just really do not see what Bomber can do to come back from this, and I expect GG to get called very soon because he's already 20 workers down. That is just such a long way to come back from, and with this relentless reinforcement streaming across the map right now, that 3rd base forced to cancel as well. This is just looking to be so good for Feast, and he's looking like he is going to take game one. He's picking off the medevacs. Great control though by Bomber at the moment, trying to use Stim, trying to stutter step micro those gateway units as best he can. He does of course have concussive shell, which makes that a bit easier, but production facilities are dying, workers are dying, reinforcements are coming in, and Stim is great and all, but if you keep stimming without a medevac there, your units take heavy damage. Another mortar gets picked off for free, that's not good. This natural base at the end of the day could get taken out, and I mean, it's taking really heavy damage. The SCVs are in the corner trying to defend it. If that second base goes down, that really is all over, and I don't see any way Bomber can come back from this right now. He's still 13 workers behind at the moment. The third base is on its way down at the moment for Feast. This attack is looking to be endless. There's a couple of SCVs sitting and waiting around there for Bomber, which haven't been taken out yet. The supply depots are dying. Gas extractors getting taken down as well. The refineries falling, which isn't a big loss, but it's just going to delay. A great force field again by Feast, trapping quite a few SCVs out on their own, getting Feast yet further ahead. Another good force field allows Feast to really chop up this Terran infantry army into bite-sized chunks, allowing those stalkers to engage effectively. Force fielding the ramp as well, preventing any reinforcements coming in. And of course, behind this, a surreal picture of Utopia back at Feast base, where his probes are just happily mining away. Still reinforcements streaming. We do have a big drop of units here by Bomber coming in from behind. That could be the best move he's done so far, but there is another Colossus there. That is going to help considerably. The Stim is helping with a massive last-ditch attempt out from Bomber right now. Does he have enough? We will wait and see. For the moment, the Vikings are going to manage to pick up that Colossus, which is going to help him massively, and it looks like Bomber is actually going to be able to clean this up for the moment, but at what cost? In terms of the resources lost, he is still behind, and in terms of the work count, it's 5 to 43. So essentially, Bomber has to all in right now. He has to kill his opponent, basically, or cripple him equally, and that just isn't going to happen because Feast, as you can see, chrono boosting all of these gateways. It takes such a long time for these units to get across. We should have another Colossus out shortly, one already on the field, utilising that high ground. We may see a drop come in by Bomber, which is exactly what I hear loading up behind me. Probably the best move, so you're not engaging directly where your opponent wants to. May get some free tech, may pick off the robotics bay, which would be a good tech win, and ultimately Bomber can lift and try and run away should he need to. But here we go, we've got those units coming in. The Vikings moving way too far forward away from the rest of the units and will get picked off, which means those Colossi will be able to go absolutely to town on the infantry. But still, Bomber is trying his absolute hardest to make this work. He is doing all the stutter step micro he can. He's lifting, he's picking up units as best he can. But there is the GG. He knows it is all over, and game one indeed goes to Feast. So guys, if you did enjoy that, please subscribe, thumbs up, and leave a cool comment. But most importantly, flick over to my channel and find game 2. I will see you there any second. I'm Madals, and this was an SC2 England cast. Bye for now.